Hello everybody, my name is Geoff Genser and I am a licensed clinical social worker working in West Hartford, Connecticut and specializing in the treatment of adolescents and young adults. I run a private practice and also I'm a co-owner of Family Resource and Development Center with a number of excellent clinicians who also service children and adolescents and families in the greater Hartford area. I wanted to take a few minutes and talk a little bit about teen substance abuse and some of the many challenges that both kids and families face with regard to this really challenging social issue. Um, More often than not, I'm faced with a parent bringing a young person in between the ages of 15 and 19 who's struggling with some degree of mood dysregulation as well as substance use, substance experimentation, or a major substance disorder. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the drugs that are out in the community today so that parents can be a bit more savvy with regard to what the kids are exposed to and have as much information at their fingertips as possible. Um, we do live in a world and a culture that is very medication dependent these days. So there are lots of medications which have major health benefits but can also be very dangerous if in the wrong hands. We've recently been in a national epidemic with heroin abuse and opiate abuse because of the massive amounts of prescription pain medications that are out on the street right now. Connecticut has been hit particularly hard by this epidemic, and a number of young people who unknowingly step into this world of opiate addiction by experimenting with pills that are left over in the medicine cabinet. These may include Percocet, hydrocodone, Vicodin, OxyContin, many prescription opiates that are prescribed for relief post-surgery. And kids are finding these in medicine cabinets and kind of strewn throughout the home often and innocently walking into addictions. The opiates will produce a very euphoric, calming, and often numbing experience, which is very attractive to both kids and really any people who are looking for any kind of physical or emotional relief. What happens is that kids take it more and more regularly and end up finding themselves stumbling into an addiction that can't be maintained through the pill abuse, so they'll often find their cravings leading them to heroin abuse. And more recently, we've had some pretty nasty batches of heroin entering the state laced with fentanyl, and there have been a number of horrible overdoses and deaths. And this is obviously a major, major public health problem that we want to make sure that we as parents and educators and professionals working in the area are doing the best we can to protect our children from and to protect our community from, so that these medications are not ending up in the wrong hands. The other thing that I want to discuss is marijuana abuse. Now, marijuana has been there for as long as any of us can remember, and parents and older folks in the community can remember their own exposure to it, either through their own personal use or being in an environment where it's been used. In today's world, due to medicalization and ongoing studies and and creative ingenuity among regular users, we have much, much higher level concentrates and more powerful levels of THC than previously. So many of these kids that are ending up in my office are not just smoking the marijuana in its herbal form, but they are getting highly concentrated oils and edibles. Um, Many of the oils have scents that can't really be detected in the same way that smoking the herbal version of the marijuana can. So kids are using these in vaporizing pens and really experiencing highs that are much more significant. This is going to increase the frequency of use. It's going to increase tolerance, um, and uh, um, and it's really going to challenge the development on an ongoing basis of kids that are using this regularly. Its accessibility is very attractive to the kids. It's much easier for them to obtain this than it is alcohol often. So we want to make sure that we as parents and adults in the community are educated about these concentrated forms and can talk to our kids about this. So you want to talk about concentrates, you want to talk about oils, you want to talk about edibles, you want to talk about dabbing, and which is a way that the concentrate is used. So if we as educators and parents and concerned adults can begin having these conversations with these kids, really educating them about the impact on their brains, their development, and and really start introducing them to other strategies for self-soothing, we're going to find ourselves with healthier children entering the world with tools that can prepare them for securing and obtaining work and maintaining relationships in healthy ways, and also being able to tolerate emotions effectively. I want to thank you for listening, and I will certainly be back with more information on supporting today's teens and young adults.